toss around this phrase owning land pretty freely, don't we?
We do.
But, you sent over some stuff for this deep dive, and it got me thinking, I mean, do we really own the ground under our feet?
Yeah.
Like, is it really that simple? You just get the deed, register it, and that's it? I'm not so sure anymore.
Interesting.
Let's deep dive into this whole land ownership thing today and see if it's really as straightforward as we think,
I'm game if you are.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Awesome.
Let's get into it.
All right, so reading through these articles, it seems like this whole idea of humans owning land, well, it's kind of a new thing, isn't it? I mean, it's in the grand scheme of things.
It really is. I mean, when you think about it, it's this very human instinct, to possess, to control. And for us, that often means land. It's been going on for centuries, millennia even, staking our claim, drawing lines on maps. This is mine, that's yours. It's just part of how we've always operated.
Yeah. Put a fence up, plant a garden, boom, it's mine.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, the earth doesn't really care about our deeds and fences, does it?
That's what got me. It was like this aha moment reading these articles. I mean, the planet's been around for billions of years, right? It'll be here long after we're gone. So, what does it even mean to own a piece of it?
It's such a great point, and it really gets to the core of this whole discussion. When you talk about something as vast, as ancient as Earth, this idea of ownership starts to feel a little different, doesn't it?
It really does.
And this is where I find this concept of stewardship so fascinating.
Okay.
Maybe instead of thinking of ourselves as owners, with all the connotations that word carries.
Right.
We think of ourselves as caretakers, stewards of the land. Okay,
so I like the sound of that. I do. Trading in the landlord hat for a gardener's trowel?
I like that.
Right. But how does this steward of the land idea actually play out in the real world?
Well, one of the most powerful examples I came across in researching for this was the Aboriginal Australians.
Okay.
They've lived in symbiosis with their environment for, get this, over 60,000 years.
Wow.
60,000 years. And they don't view the land as a commodity, something to be owned. It's an ancestor. It's to be revered, protected. They have these incredibly sophisticated systems for managing the land. Control burning, for example. It's been shaping the biodiversity of the landscape for millennia.
See, that's incredible. 60,000 years, that's not just owning land. That's I don't know.
It puts it in perspective, doesn't it?
It really does. I mean, are there any takeaways here? What can we learn from that?
Well, I think the key takeaway is that it's about the long game. It's not about extracting everything you can from the land for short-term gain.
Right.
It's about ensuring its health, its vitality for generations to come. And that brings us to the question, what can our listeners do? How do we put this stewardship idea into practice?
Yeah, that's the big question. What can we do differently?
Well, I think it starts with a shift in perspective like we were talking about earlier.
Okay.
It's not about what the land can do for us. It's about what we can do for the land.
Okay.
And that could be, honestly, it can be pretty simple things. Planting native species in your garden, being mindful of your water consumption, composting, supporting local farmers who use sustainable practices.
Right.
These are small actions, but multiplied across communities.
Yeah.
They can make a real difference.
So my yard, just thinking about my own backyard now.
Yeah.
It's not just a patch of grass anymore. It's part of this huge interconnected ecosystem.
Exactly.
Right? And I have some responsibility to do my part to take care of it.
You've hit the nail on the head. It's that interconnectedness that's so crucial to remember. Everything we do, even in our own backyards,
right,
it has ripple effects.
It really does.
Yeah.
Wow. It makes you think differently about just walking out your front door.
It really does.
So, listeners, next time you're outside, take a look around. Think about it. Are you walking on land that you own or land you've been entrusted to care for?
That's a great question to leave people with.
It's something to think about, for sure.
It is.
Wow. Great deep dive today. Really makes you think.
As always, it's a pleasure.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Until next time.